Start over.
Start over? Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Choi. I'm with the City Clerk's Neighborhood Council Funding Program. I am the accounting and the administrative supervisor. I apologize for the glare. Just for your information, I was informed that we are recording this portion of the training, so I'll be taking questions at the very end of the presentation, and if we can go in just ask questions one at a time so that the recording catches everything that is being said. So first, thank you for coming out today. I know it's an evening, it's Passover, and I do apologize that there was a little discrepancy in the scheduling. We will be also doing this presentation 2 more times. We'll be doing it at the bank and also at BONC. Bank is the Valley Alliance of Neighborhood Councils, and BONC is the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners. So we'll be doing those presentations as well. And this presentation will be also available, we'll be doing the presentation, also a brief one during the funding training that will be happening this Thursday at City Hall. So just to give a little background, the Neighborhood Council Funding Program was transferred to the Office of the City Clerk from the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment through the budgeting process July 1, 2016. What that meant was, through the budgeting process, City Council determined that the administrative procedures of the Neighborhood Council Funding Program was moved and then physically placed in the City Clerk's office, including the staffing with it, with additional support that went along. The NC funding program and policies that we're using currently will remain the same until June 10th, and the new system and the policies for the Neighborhood Council Funding Program will be launching July 1st. So our goal is to start the new system in the first month of this upcoming budget fiscal year. The changes that we'll be making for the funding program will be the policies and procedures and also your interaction with the system itself. With the policies, we're going to be reviewing some of the things such as definitions, clearly defining more what an MPG is, CIP, redefining some of the operational expenditures. A lot of questions we get is, we have operational expenditures and outreach expenditures that overlap, making a little bit more of those clarifications, such as printing and how to classify that in your budgets. Things we'll be also discussing is clear policies on freezing of funds, unfreezing of funds, training requirements, the event approval process, the use of your purchase card, and the budget submission process. Other features that we're looking into to revise and to amend is the monthly expenditure report, the funding request forms, the board vote count forms, the MPG application, cash request forms, and monthly expenditure reports are so important I put it up there twice. Another part is the training. We're looking to revise the type of trainings and how making it more accessible. We're considering things of using web-based training, meaning instead of coming physically to our location, that you'll be able to log on and do a webinar-based training and also ask questions online. So I understand if you're living in North Valley, if you're in Silmar, it's not the easiest to go through traffic and get to downtown by 6 o'clock. Sometimes that, you don't want to sit in traffic for 2 hours. So we're looking the best ways to integrate both a newer technology, but at the same time making it as simple and as accessible as possible. Part of this systems, the new policies and procedures we're changing it through a new system. The system is based on 4 major principles. Is task. We at the City Clerk's office believe in increasing transparency, making us and the Neighborhood Council more accountable to the public, bringing down to the most simplest, making the process as simple as possible, and providing consistency across the board. We want to be able to, what advice or what decisions or what policy we make decisions for in the Valley, it should be the same across the board all the way into the harbor. So what we did to create this consistency and simplicity is building a system. Right now, currently, the City Clerk has decided to build a system from the ground up. Instead of purchasing software from the outside, customizing it like, say, QuickBooks, and just tweaking it to make it work for neighborhood councils, we're actually building the system from the bottom up. We're actually doing the coding. Our systems team, our amazing system team, is actually doing all of the coding itself. So we are finding a way to integrate your experience with the bank so we can do a lot of cleaning up some of the procedures that a lot of neighborhood councils have told us that they're having problems with. Other things that we want to do with the system is create a tracking mechanism for your funding requests, make payments to vendors simpler, be able to scan in receipts. We're creating the system to also be web friendly, meaning you can use it via your phone. So if you have a smartphone with internet access, you should be able to take a picture with your phone and upload it directly into the system through your phone. You don't have to scan it into a system and then upload it afterwards. Another part that we want to do is self-generating reports. So how many of you are treasurers here? How many of you love doing MERs? Yeah. But so what we want to do is, our biggest question was, can we make the MER simpler? Can we make it the MER self-generating? Can we make the MERs not a burden, more of a kind of just what it's supposed to be, which is a tool for neighborhood councils to help track their neighborhood council expenditures? So those are the questions we asked, and we've come up with the system to help support that. So currently we're using Union Bank, and moving into next budget fiscal year, we'll also be utilizing Union Bank. They'll be slightly different. The current Union Bank account that you have now is retail-based. So it's an account that you can go into the bank and open yourself up for an individual use. We decided to move it over to be a commercial system. We're using Union Bank's commercial system, so they're offering additional support. How many of you here are card holders, bank card holders? How long did it take you to get your cards? Let's get an average.
Month.
Months? 5 months? 2 months?
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Ours council took almost a year.
A year to get your card, your debit card.
You win.
Okay. So what a major situation was that because we're using retail-based banking, you got retail-level service. Because now we're doing commercial-based banking, which comes with fees, but the city clerk is actually working with the Office of Finance to mitigate any of the fees so that it would not affect the neighborhood council. But because we're using commercial, they're more responsive. The new cards that you will be receiving might also have the city logo on it, so it will look a little slightly different from your current debit cards you have right now. So back to the 2 different methods that neighborhood council will be able to make purchases. The first will be the new purchase card. Currently, you have a debit card. We're moving over to a credit system. Our goal is to make your neighborhood council give your neighborhood council as much accessibility to your funds as possible. One of the things I heard was that you were able to use it at a grocery store because you didn't have a PIN. So how to mitigate that is going from debit to a credit card, a purchase card. So our new system will allow you to use your purchase card, go to a vendor, take the receipt, and upload it into the system directly, and our system will hold that data for you. I'll go back to reports in a little bit. Another method a neighborhood council uses their funds currently is issuing a check through Union Bank. So the process right now for any expenditure that needs prior approval, you submit your you prepare the funding request form, submit it to the department reviews it, gives it back to you after it's been approved, and then you move into Union Bank and issue the check. Why are we doing this game of passing the forms back and forth? The best way to correct it is, why not give us the data of where the check is supposed to go, how much it's supposed to be, and who it's supposed to go to, when it's supposed to go, put it into the system. Once it's approved, why not the check just automatically be issued directly to the vendor through the system, and at the same time giving you access to control that. So for that purpose, we're creating a brand new software that's internet-based that you will provide us all of the information that you would normally provide Union Bank ahead of time, and the check will automatically be issued after the requests have been approved. So I'm a pizza lover. Yeah, I like pizza. And so one of the features, how many here eats Domino's? Does delivery? No, okay, sorry, just me. But Domino's Pizza, what they do is, if you do delivery and you order online, they created a tracking mechanism. So the little red dot, these little red sections, they blink. We're not creating that exact system, but we took that idea, and what we're doing is creating a tracker. The tracking mechanism that we're creating is going to allow you to follow the funding request from submission to check being cashed. So even after the check has gone out, we want to also be able to see which check has actually been cashed. So the system is going to let you track your payments to, say, an MPG from beginning inception to creation of that request all the way to the completion as in payments have been made. That final part, the other form we're discussing, is not part of the system as of this moment. Things that we're looking to improve, the metrics that we're using to improve our service is that on Operational expenditures, we're hoping that any check under 1,000 will be issued within 24 hours. Anything under 5,000, we're hoping to issue under 48 hours. Anything above 5,000, because currently the neighbor council still have a contract consideration, that time frame is a little different. We currently recommend anywhere between 3 to 6 months. Same thing with MPGs and CIPs. A strong benefit of what we're adding into the feature is that we're going to be storing your vendor information, meaning you can just pick up the vendor. You don't have to resubmit the same information. You just tell us which vendor you're using. We're creating a drop-down list where you can pick your vendor and just write us when and how much, but submitting the same forms, of course. So the big kaboom. Why are we asking for all of this information at the same time? It's because our biggest concern was, I don't want to fill out all of the MER forms. There's a lot of sections, there's a lot of things to fill out, it's manual. So we want to take that clerical component away from you, that tedious part, and just help free up your time as treasurers, as that higher level budgetary individuals on your board, to do all of that clerical work automatically through the system. So because we're collecting all of the data that you've already presented to us, and the system is the Union Bank credit card system is already feeding their data into us, we can create the MERs for you. So the MERs will no longer be you sitting there plugging in the information into an Excel spreadsheet. We are printing a statement out for you instead with all of the supporting documents you have already submitted to us. We're moving from a direction of manual labor to actually just having reports pre-generated for you. Finally, how we're going to be doing this is we'll be utilizing a web-based system. And what that means is the web-based system, let me close out of here. The web-based system is going to be username and password protected, meaning currently when you say you have to recreate, how many people here have tried to work with us and redo your password for your Union Bank access? So currently the process is we need to conference call with Union Bank and the individual and us at the same time, schedule a time to set up your password. We're getting rid of that because we're controlling the system from our side. You can reset your password automatically. You'll be able to we're going to be using your email address. You say, I'm going to reset my password. We send you a link and you'll be able to reset your own passwords now. So we are outside of that equation and it's just you and your comfortability with that information. So how are we doing this? We're doing this all within City Clerk servers. We're doing all of the work ourselves and also creating the website and creating all of the system so that we can offer as much service to you as possible. We want to take on that work, that burden of maintaining this system, and we want to be able to free up your time in terms of how to do the higher level discussions and the process. The biggest concern is I'm a volunteer. I don't have all the time to do all the paperwork all the time, and I agree with you. You are volunteers, and we're asking you to do a lot of manual work right now, and so let the system take care of that for you so that we can free up your time. So the important things. On our website currently, we have some special dates listed. So to do all of this, first of all, this is not to transition from our current system to the new system. We need time. We're estimating about 3 weeks to transition all the neighborhood councils into a new system. So we're saying that as of June 1st, neighborhood councils, the last day to submit a funding request form will be June 1st. The last day you'll be able to access the current bank account will be June 7th, and the last day to use your purchase card will be June 11th. That'll allow us enough time so that neighborhood councils will be able to transition from one system to the next, and gives us ample time to make sure we work out as many of the kinks within the system. So we're here at 7 o'clock, so I'm going to be taking questions now about any of the dates, any of the systems itself. Any questions? We'll start one by one. We'll start with Anne and then move downwards.
So it sounds like to me then, you're generating the MER and then you're just sending it back to us. It's like exactly the opposite of what's going on now. We're making the MER and we're sending it to you. You're making the MER and you're sending it to us.
Well,
for board approval.
Exactly. Yes. So we're